Aquarius, 2026 is a year that rewires you at a fundamental level. This is not about distant ideas, abstract theories, or observing life from the outside. This is a year where your thinking sharpens, your voice gains weight, and your presence becomes undeniable. What shifts now directly shapes your daily reality and sets the tone for the future you are building. You are no longer experimenting with who you are becoming. You are committing to it. From the very beginning of the year, you feel the pressure and the potential of deep internal change. Pluto is active in your sign throughout 2026, and for those of you born in the first degrees of Aquarius, its influence is especially strong. This is not subtle. Pluto strips away false identities, outdated roles, and versions of yourself that no longer hold power. You may feel moments of intensity, self-confrontation, or inner urgency that pushes you to take yourself more seriously. Pluto here is not asking for reinvention for the sake of novelty. It is demanding authenticity. You are being reshaped at the core level of identity, will, and personal authority. This can feel heavy at times, but it is also empowering. You are learning what it means to stand in your truth without detachment, without distance, and without apology. At the end of January, Neptune enters Aries and begins dissolving old mental patterns. Your communication style, thought processes, and perception of information soften and shift. You may feel more intuitive, imaginative, or inspired in how you express yourself, but also more vulnerable to confusion, mixed signals, or emotional noise. Neptune opens your mind, but it also requires discernment. For Aquarius, clarity has always been intellectual. In 2026, clarity becomes something you must actively cultivate. You are learning to listen beneath words, to sense intention, and to slow your thinking when needed. Misunderstandings are possible if you rush communication or assume logic alone will carry meaning. This period teaches you that awareness is just as important as intelligence. In February, Saturn follows Neptune into Aries and brings structure to this mental shift. Conversations become serious. Decisions carry long-term consequences. You may take on responsibilities related to learning, teaching, writing, contracts, or important agreements. Saturn demands precision. What you say matters. What you promise must be honored. For Aquarius, this is grounding. Saturn sharpens your voice. It forces you to be intentional rather than theoretical. Vague plans dissolve. Only what can be built remains. Your words now have the power to shape reality more directly, which means accountability becomes essential. Also in February, the eclipse cycle opens with an annular solar eclipse in Aquarius, placing you at the center of the year's transformation. This is a personal reset unlike any other. Identity, self-image, and the way you present yourself to the world undergoes a powerful shift. You may feel compelled to redefine who you are, how you lead, or how visible you allow yourself to be. This eclipse is especially significant for early degree Aquarians as it amplifies Pluto's work. An old version of you falls away. You step forward more consciously, more authentically, and with greater self-awareness. This is not about proving anything. It is about alignment. In early March, a total lunar eclipse in Virgo pulls attention toward shared resources and deeper bonds. Financial agreements, debts, investments, or emotional dependencies reach a moment of truth. Something shared reaches completion or requires restructuring. This eclipse asks you to address trust, vulnerability, and mutual responsibility directly. For Aquarius, this can feel uncomfortable. You value independence, yet this moment teaches you that interdependence does not weaken you. It clarifies power dynamics and strengthens boundaries where they were previously blurred. As spring unfolds, the pressure begins to redistribute in a more supportive way. By the end of April, Uranus enters Gemini and forms a flowing trine to your sign. This is a major relief and a key advantage of 2026. After months of intensity and internal transformation, Uranus brings movement, inspiration, and flexibility. Creativity, romance, joy, and self-expression awaken in new ways. Ideas spark suddenly. Attraction feels electric. You are encouraged to experiment, play, and rediscover excitement without losing yourself. This trine helps you integrate Pluto's deep changes without feeling trapped by them. You are evolving, but you are also free. By mid-year, Jupiter enters Leo and shifts growth into your relationship world. Partnerships expand, new alliances form, existing relationships become more dynamic and expressive. Support arrives through others, but only when there is mutual confidence and respect. This is an important lesson for Aquarius. Independence does not mean isolation. Collaboration can amplify your power when it is chosen consciously. You are learning how to stand strong as yourself while still allowing others close. In early August, the story reaches another turning point with a total solar eclipse in Leo, resetting relationship patterns entirely. A new chapter begins in how you commit, cooperate, and define partnership. Some connections deepen, others fall away. Balance between autonomy and intimacy becomes non-negotiable. This eclipse asks you to choose relationships that reflect who you are becoming now, not who you were before your transformation began. Toward the end of August, a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces closes the eclipse cycle by reshaping finances and self-worth. Income, spending habits, or personal values reach a turning point. You may release an old financial pattern or redefine what security truly means. This is not just about money, it's about value. You learn that self-worth cannot be measured externally, it must be owned internally. By the end of 2026, Aquarius, your voice is clearer, your presence stronger, and your identity far more grounded. Pluto has stripped away what was false, Uranus has kept you flexible, Saturn has sharpened your mind. This year taught you that progress happens when ideas become action and authenticity replaces distance. The future you are building now is not theoretical, it is real, and you are ready to live inside it.